Joining me now to give us the latest on this is Congressman Andy Harris, who's the chairman of the House Freedom Caucus and a member of the House Appropriations Committee. He represents the 1st Congressional District of Maryland. Dr. Harris, welcome back to Washington Watch. I know you're just leaving the floor from vote, so I appreciate you joining us. Give us the latest.
Sure. So I think what we're going to do is tomorrow we're going to vote on what we call the rule to bring a bill to the floor that will extend government funding, avoid a shutdown till November 20th. Of course, that partially kicks the can down the road, but it allows us to give the appropriations process one more chance before we decide to just continue with continuing resolutions, which again, Tony, I don't mind because they don't increase spending. They keep spending level. And of course, when your inflation is between 2.5% and 3%, you actually have a 2.5% to 3% cut in actual size of government if you keep the spending level.
Now, there were some elements in those CRs. I think the COVID set-asides. Those are all of the bad policies still in there that were under the Biden administration? How are we going to deal with that?
Well, look, this administration is just not following. Again, they're not going to follow some of the prescriptions in the previous Biden budgets. It will keep the funding level. There was talk that we were going to somehow include, and Chuck Schumer has mentioned that he wants COVID era Obamacare subsidies, enhanced subsidies included in this bill. The House bill is not going to include it. Okay. I don't think that he's going to have the juice to get it added in the Senate. Again, between now and November 20th, maybe he gets the juice to do it. He doesn't have it now. Again, these COVID era policies, these COVID era giveaways really to insurance companies really should just go away.
All right. You've been around a while, Dr. Harris. November 21st, backdrop Thanksgiving. I mean, is there going to be pressure exerted there? I mean, that's what we've seen in the past. Everybody wants to get out of town, and so pressure is applied to adopt something that may not be the best.
Well, I think the real pressure would be if we had put this off until the week before Christmas, because then you're getting out of town for a couple of weeks. It's the holiday. It's the end of the year. You don't want to spoil anybody's Christmas with even a short government shutdown. I think November 20th is all right. Is it as good as I had hoped for? No, I'd hoped that it would be just into October, a few weeks into October. See if we get the appropriations process going. I think by then we'll figure out it really won't be able to get going. But November 20th is all right. It's not as bad as December, the end of December. And the Speaker has gone publicly and said in the past and currently he really doesn't want an end-of-year omnibus bill, which is really what we're afraid of, because that always involves increased spending.
Now, the Speaker has repeatedly said that he wants to get back to normal order when it comes to appropriations. And you said, this gives you time to do some of the appropriations. The House has been doing that. The House has advanced. I think you've already approved 3. You may have done more by now. But the White House is actually wanting to continue with CRs. They feel like that's a better way because they don't have to negotiate with Democrats.
That's absolutely right. So the House has actually passed all 12 bills through committee, 5 bills through the floor. The Senate has not done the same. They have passed 3 bills through the floor. We are attempting to negotiate those bills. One of those bills is mine. It's the agriculture bill. The other one's military construction and the Veterans Administration, and the third one, the legislative branch ones. But we are going to attempt to negotiate those, but those are the 3 probably easiest ones. So once that process is done, we'll see if we can do any more. I think by the end of November, it'll become obvious we can't do any more.
But it is important that Congress gets back to doing appropriations bills. I mean, we really haven't seen that for almost 20 years, where this regular process of Congress advancing these 12 appropriations bills, because policy is included in those appropriations.
That's absolutely right. But I tell you, Tony, when they wrote the law that set out the process, it's been about 50 years. And the size of the federal government and the scope of the federal government and the amount of money appropriated by the federal government has greatly increased since then. So I think it's time that we look at 2-year appropriations like some states do. Perhaps every year appropriate for defense, because defense has to be up to the minute, up to the moment expenditures. But for everything else, we probably ought to go to 2-year cycles. It's going to take us that long to spend the time requisite on each of these departments to make sure that we're doing the job right, not just doing the job fast.
So is there some internal discussion about changing the budgetary process?
There has been for about 10 years. And I think that, at some point, people are just going to finally decide this process is not working. This year we even haven't even passed, the budget bill that's been called for, which is supposed to prescribe to the House what the level of spending is going to be for this year, fiscal year 26. We haven't even passed that. So there is no aspect of the Budget Control Act from the 70s that we are adhering to. The president was late getting his budget because, again, these budgets are huge.
They're big, yeah.
They're
Huge.
big. And realistically, look, we're humans. We just can't deal. We don't have the bandwidth to deal with things that size. So I think it's about time we go to, again, 2-year budgeting. Look, if we have to make changes, small course corrections, we can do it in a smaller bill, but we're set for 2 years.
That sounds like a very reasonable approach. Something has to be done to get Congress back in control of the purse strings. Congressman Andy Harris, always great to see you.